Hey everybody, Derek here to bring another video for The Walking Dead Season 6. And what this video is going to be doing is predicting whether Sam's fate on The Walking Dead has been foreshadowed by certain circumstances from start to finish. I was rewatching the episode and I saw a couple of signs that may indicate what might happen to him in episode 9 or the next time that we see him. I'm going to let you guys know what those are and what it might mean. Is he going to survive his ordeal and maybe come out a braver person? Or is he not? And maybe he's going to be walker food. I'm going to let you know what I think. If you are not caught up with The Walking Dead, the television show, or the comics, or you do not want to be spoiled in any way, then exit the video now and come back later, because otherwise you will be spoiled. Okay. So, first, what I want to do is note the beginning of the episode was very indicative of, foreshadowing what might happen to Sam. If you remember, Sam was in his room, and, he's still very upset, very afraid of everything that's been going on, of Carol's threat, his father dying, experiencing the wolves. The kid has unfortunately been through a very terrible ordeal, and it's a very shocking thing for a young boy like him to have to go through. And we saw him, coloring that picture of himself tied to a tree with monsters around it. And it pans over to the window, and we see that ants are coming inside the window, and what they're doing is they're crawling down, and of course there's a cookie that was half eaten on a plate sitting in the room, and we see that the ants are, foraging, if you will. They come in, they're taking the pieces from the cookie and taking it back to wherever their anthill is. And, I think that that's really foreshadowing of, that perhaps the ants represent the walkers in this instance, and that the cookie represents Sam, that we may see that the walkers will end up eating him. So I think that that was one definite indication that we may see that Sam will be a victim of the walkers, that he will be eaten as a result of, what happened. Because if you remember, when they were walking outside, they had covered themselves in walker guts. They tore some sheets apart from the beds and had made these, covers for themselves, so that way they smelled like the walkers and they could sneak through. And all of a sudden we see Sam, saying, "Mom, Mom, Mom," a little bit louder each time, which, voices and sound are going to attract the walkers. And I think that there's a very good chance that because of what Sam has done, that he's going to attract attention to himself and end up getting bitten. There's something else that I think is very telling of this, and that is the song that Sam was listening to inside of his room, which the song was "Tiptoe Through the Tulips," which was sung by Nick Lucas. If you listen to some of the lyrics of that song, it kind of parallels some of the things that are going on here. The premise itself of the song, in general, is a man trying to get his girl or some girl that he likes, in the middle of the night to wake up and quietly come away with him so they can be together. That he says, "Hey, tiptoe through the tulips, through the garden, underneath the willow tree," kind of saying, "Hey, it's late, everybody's sleeping, but I really want to be with you, so let's sneak away, come out of your room, be quiet, and we'll go underneath the willow tree somewhere underneath the stars and, kiss and just spend some time together." That's really the premise of the song, but if you listen to some of the lyrics, they kind of match up with some of the things going on. And I'm going to write these lyrics on the screen so that you can see exactly what I mean, and I'm going to make the parallels. So, the first line of the song goes, "Shades of night are creeping." I think that's very indicative of the walkers. I think that the shades of night are creeping represents the walkers, these dark, terrible forces that are going to eat you. They're creeping in. They're getting around the house. They're inside Alexandria. They broke in, Rick's house, the house that everybody was in, and they're at the doorstep. They're at the flight of the stairs, if you will. So I think that they represent the shades of night are creeping as the walkers. And then you have willow trees are weeping. I think in this sense, the willow trees can represent the people, the group members, who are very scared at this point that the walkers are going to break through and, eat everybody. So I think that that's the representation there. And then you have the next line, all alone I'm scheming to get you out of here. I think that's very indicative of the plan, that you have Rick who is thinking of a way to get everybody out of here. And of course the plan is to, take bed sheets, cover themselves with walker guts, and, sneak through the walker herd, which is in a sense tiptoe through the tulips, if you will. Now, I think that is all represents what's going on here. You have walkers at the flight of the stairs. They've broken in. We have everybody that's trying to remain calm. But you have Sam, who is of course scared to death. And of course, I don't think anybody's really, not scared. But you have that, and you have all alone I'm scheming. You have Rick by himself coming up with this plan to get everybody out to safety. So I think that those three lines really represent what's going on here. Then you have come tiptoe through the window. The window is where I will be. I think that serves two purposes here. One being, through the window, in the song, it's kind of like going out onto a balcony. Come through your window onto the balcony, look down at me. But here, I think that this is very similar to the ants, which may connect to the walkers. The ants are coming through the window, and basically they were attacking the cookie, if you will. They were taking the pieces from the cookie that was laying there. And I think that this connects the dots again. The fact that the ants were coming through the window, I think lines up with the walkers potentially getting to Sam. Then you have the next line, which states, tiptoe from your pillow to the shadow of a willow tree. Now here, I think what's going on here is tiptoe from your pillow is in a sense Sam leaving his room. The pillow being in the bed, which is in the bedroom. It's Sam coming out of his room and, to the shadow of a willow tree. If the willow tree represents the group, people like Rick, it's come into this, we're going to take bed sheets and put them over ourselves. So again, kind of maybe with a pillow. And we're going to cover ourselves in walker guts. And we're all going to shadow each other from the walkers that are outside. So you're in a sense coming into the shadow of the willow tree, which is all of us linking arms, being safe, and making our way through this walker herd. So I think that's really what's being represented here. Leave from your pillow, from the bedroom, to the group sneaking through. Now, of course, you have the line, tiptoe through the tulips. A lot of that really is, be quiet. Tiptoe, which in this case, the tulips would represent the walkers as well. So you can kind of have dual meaning in a song. But, tiptoe through the walkers, we don't want to alert the people, like in the song, the reason why you're tiptoeing through the tulips is because you don't want people inside to wake up, and realize that you're sneaking out of your house to go be with somebody. We as parents don't want our kids sneaking out at night, but it's the same concept here. It's tiptoe through this walker herd so that way we can get to safety. We can mask ourselves. The walkers will not be aware of our presence if we tiptoe. We're quiet. If we move the same way, we don't say a word, we act like them, we move with them, they're not going to attack us. Now, we have here, knee-deep in the flowers will stray, will keep the showers away, kind of indicating the same thing. we got a lot of walkers surrounding us, knee deep in a sense being we are completely surrounded, with the walkers. But we're going to keep the showers away, maybe showers of blood, if you will, that, we're not going to let ourselves be bitten or have anything bad happen to us. And you have the last line, which I think may indicate his fate. And if I kiss you in the garden, in the moonlight, will you pardon me? I think that this, of course, Sam's probably not going to be kissing anybody, but, what would happen here is in the song, it's kind of like, the old movies where you see the guy trying to sneak a kiss off the girl, moving in for a kiss. And if she isn't very responsive to that, or vice versa, if he's not very responsible to that, if it's a girl, or whoever's doing the kissing may not be very receptive to that, and, will you pardon me? Here, what you have is, and if I kiss you in the garden, in other words, while we're going through the walker herd, if I were to make a sound, will you pardon me? Which in this case, I don't think so. I think that it's really, if I make a sound, I'm going to get, myself killed. And really, the walkers are not going to pardon you for making a sound, and the group's also going to be put in danger. So I think that's really what, the song represents. It really represents this idea of, Sam making a sound, putting himself in danger, and the walkers are going to eat him. So I think a lot of the lyrics really do point to his fate. And of course, we have the comic book story, where in the comics, Ron, is going through the same plan, but for some reason, he doesn't make a sound, but for some reason, the walkers in the comics think that Ron is a person, which of course he is, and they start to bite him and eat him, which Ron is a lot younger in the comics, so it would make sense that Sam, being as young as Ron was in the TV show, would take his place. And I think that that's going to lead to some of the events that lead up to, the start of the episode where, Ron's going to get bitten, and at this point, we're no longer tiptoeing, excuse me, we're no longer tiptoeing through the tulips. We're, in a sense, in heck. And, they're going to be in a very bad situation, which may, of course, lead to the death of Jesse as well. I think that that's very possible. I think that there's a lot of signs here that this is going to happen, and I think that there is evidence that that is exactly what is going to happen the next time we see Sam and the rest of the group. So let me know what you think. Do you think my analysis is on target? Have I missed something? Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to subscribe. I do have more videos coming. If you have any suggestions for future videos that you would like to see, don't be afraid to suggest them. Have a wonderful evening, and thank you very much for watching.